coming up on Vegas Nation Game Day.
I'm so fired up to get home opener.
The Raiders coming home to their fans after taking down the Ravens.
It's not about how good you are, it's about how good you play. So that's really what it comes down to. We got to lock in and try to be better than we were last week.
Let's get you up to speed on the Silver and Black's home opener against the Carolina Panthers. Vegas Nation Game Day, the home opener edition, starts, right now.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Game Day. Presented by DNR House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.
We're definitely excited to come and show off for our home crowd. Hoping to get everybody in there and have a packed house with nothing but silver and black.
We're fired up. We're extremely excited about Sunday at 1 o'clock. I'm just waiting to come out there for pregame and just watch that bad boy rock and roll. I know our players are looking forward to it again.
Everybody says we're going to have a great crowd, man. I'm ready to hear it, ready to see it, ready to feel it. It means a lot to us, and we want to make this one of those places. We want to make our home field a true home field and something that we love coming back to, and it's on us to make it that way.
Hello all and welcome to the week number 3 and home opener edition of Vegas Nation Game Day. I'm your host, Dominic Lavoie, and it's the home opener. The excitement's palpable in the air and everyone is ready to get going. Now the tailgating experience this week is going to be a little bit different. A new Masquerade tailgate experience will bring a 45-foot pirate ship complete with a DJ booth, integrated bar, and theatrical plank that you can walk off of into a foam ball pit to the Death Star. The project is a VIP experience that includes unlimited food and beverage, including alcohol, gifts, a treasure hunt, you name it. Plenty is going to be available to do if you shell out the cash to buy the package. Now it's all going to be fun and games this week outside of Allegiant Stadium this season, as it's going to be at every single home game, but getting into the nitty gritty here. The Carolina Panthers coming to town. They're 0-2, outscored 73-13 in the first 2 weeks of the season, and they ended up benching Bryce Young, the former first overall pick, in favor of veteran quarterback Andy Dalton. He's going to be the starter in week 3 against the Raiders, and on Monday, that was news to Antonio Pierce.
I don't know what happened here.
He's still going to start a quarterback.
Veteran quarterback, that's news to me. I just was in meetings, but I got to go back up to the drawing boards on that one. Wasn't prepared for that one.
An interesting caveat on Andy Dalton now. Marvin Lewis, the assistant coach for the Raiders, drafted Dalton way back in 2011, and defensive coordinator Patrick Graham is using that connection to get a little bit more info on the new Panthers starter.
We're in the business of gathering information. It's been very useful. It's been very useful to talk to him, pick his brain. So, what are some of his favorite plays? What did he struggle with? So going through that process, that's always useful. We're always trying to gather information to make the best decision how to deploy our guys out there.
Now with Antonio Pierce needing to change up his game plan a little bit and getting some extra information from Marvin Lewis and Patrick Graham alike, let's go ahead and toss it over to Vinny Bonsignore with Vinny's vision on week number 3.
Well, the Carolina Panthers threw the Raiders a curveball early this week by making the switch from Bryce Young, the first overall pick in last year's draft, who's just been playing terrible football, and moving on to veteran quarterback Andy Dalton. And so now the Raiders have to prepare for a veteran quarterback, a quarterback that's completely different than Bryce Young, in short order. What does that mean? Well, I think the Raiders defense has shown that they can play well against just about anybody. And when you think about it, the Raiders pass rush against, I think, a susceptible offensive line could make for a long day for Andy Dalton, who quite honestly doesn't have the mobility that of Bryce Young. That's something that the Raiders can take advantage of. Yes, Andy Dalton's more savvy, has some veteran experience, can get the Panthers in and out of what they want to try to do. But I think if the offensive line lets down against this Raiders defensive line, that makes the immobile Andy Dalton really susceptible to what the Raiders want to do defensively.
Thank you for that, Vinny. Now coming up after the break, betting numbers for the Raiders home opener. What do the books have in store for sports bettors in the Silver and Black's week 3 matchup? And what do you have to look for on the field in terms of key stats? Stay with us to find out.
DNR House of Diamonds is Las Vegas's elite private office jeweler. We specialize in natural and lab-grown loose diamonds, engagement rings, and custom design. If you're looking for lab-grown diamonds, we have one of the largest selections at the best prices in Las Vegas. We make luxury affordable every day.
Welcome back to Vegas Nation Game Day. Let's get things going with some betting odds. What do you have to look for in the Panthers and Raiders matchup? Let's start looking at it as a complete game. The Raiders are the -5 favorites on the spread and -250 on the money line, while the Panthers are +195. The Raiders are -130 to go under 23.5 points for the game, while the Panthers are -135 to go under 17.5 points. For the QBs, Gardner Minshew is -115 to go over 219.5 passing yards, while Andy Dalton is -115 himself to go over 211 passing passing yards. And finally, the wide receivers. Davante Adams is minus 115 to go over 63.5 receiving yards, while Brock Bowers is minus 115 as well to go over 45.5 receiving yards on the day. Both of them got shots to build on their strong days last week in Baltimore. Now, instead of the green of money, we're going to focus on the green of the football field and some other numbers to look out for. With numbers on Davante Adams, Max Crosby, and everyone else, here's Heidi Fang with this week's Hard Count.
It's Heidi Fang here, and it's time to dig into the numbers for Week 3's Raiders-Panthers matchup. But we can't move forward until we look back. Here's a couple of stats to point out from the Raiders' win over the Ravens. Per Next Gen Stats, Max Crosby was on the field for 100% of the Raiders' defensive snaps for the second consecutive time. ESPN Stats Info also notes that for the first time in Raiders history, two teammates had 9 receptions and 90-plus receiving yards in the same game. In fact, with 100 receiving yards, Adams would notch his 44th career game of 100-plus receiving yards, passing Hall of Famers James Lofton, Tim Brown, and Reggie Wayne for 17th most. On top of that, with 56 receiving yards, Bowers would reach 212 total receiving yards on the season, marking the most receiving yards by a tight end in their first 3 career games in NFL history. I'm Heidi Fang, and that's the Hard Count.
Thank you for that, Heidi, and thank you all for joining us on this Week 3 edition of Vegas Nation Game Day as we get you going for the Raiders home opener in this 2024 season. As always, make sure to stay connected with us on social media and on the web. So stay tuned on Raiders updates and news as we hold you off for Vegas Nation Blitz next week. Now, once again, thank you all for watching. Enjoy the action, and I'll see you all next time.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Game Day. Presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.